Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and I'm the car boot crafter, and today's a little bit of origami. Really simple, no need to panic. It's really simple and folds that you're probably very familiar with to make these cute tiny little bags. Aren't they super? I think they're so cute, and you can probably just about fit a Ferrero Rocher in there, just the one. So you might have to give 2 or 3 little bags to someone very special. But I just think they are super cute, and all you need is a square of paper. Now these were made using 6x6 origami papers, but I'm going to show you how to make them using a piece of copy paper. So this is the piece of copy paper. So it's an 8x8 piece of copy paper. So you can see just how big or how little you want to make them, if that's what you want to do. So what you're going to do is you start with, so imagine that's the pattern. So pattern side down. And you're going to get your, going to do a point to point fold, but not all the way. So just line up your points like that. And then you're just going to do a little in the middle like that. You're not going to go all the way across. We just need to find the center point. So put your fingers there and create a tiny little crease there. Then turn it and do exactly the same. So point to point again, and just do a little crease across the middle like that. Don't go to these points. And then when you let it fall, and I'm going to grab my pencil so you can see. So I've got a crease here, and I've got a crease here. So now I know that this is the center point of my papers. And the reason I want to do that is because I now want to fold in these points to that center point. So just bring it in like that, and we're going to crease that really well. And as long as it's a square piece of paper, you can do any size you like on these, but I particularly like doing the little 6x6 ones. So bring in your next point, line it up in that middle, and do your crease, and just keep going all the way around. It's a really simple fold. This is surprisingly simple actually, to create those cute little bags of any size you like. So if you wanted to do it in 12x12, then you absolutely could, to create a bigger handbag. So that's in the middle. So there's all my scores in, and I'm just reinforcing them like that. Okay, now that we've got that, so I've still got this side upwards, so I've still got those folds coming in. What I want to do is to fold it into 3. Now I am absolutely useless at folding into 3, so you could use your grid lines and measure it. You could bring your ruler in, but the way I do it is I just kind of do it by eye. So I'm bringing this piece up, and I'm looking that this here is about the same size of this piece here at the top. So I want this piece to be equal to this piece. When I think it's about right, I'm not folding this just yet. I'm going to bring that over and see if that's right. Now that's too short, so I need to bring it further back and then try again. And that is about right. So I'm just going to using my fingers to flatten that down like that. So now we've got 2 folds making at 3/3. Okay, so once we've done that, so we've just done that, open it up, turn it again, and do it again. So we want another 1/3 fold. So bring it up. It's a little bit easier this time because you can use this as a guide, and the crease mark here. So that's probably going to be about 1/3, but I'm going to check it again like I did, and yes, we're bang on target. So let's bring that over. So my fold, see this here, and then I've got a crease line here, so that's where it joins there, that's roughly about a third of a way up. Bring that over, buff it right the way up to there. There we go. Okay, so once we've done that, we're opening it out, and it doesn't matter which way you do it, but you're going to open 2 of your initial folds so that we end up with a shape like that. Okay, and what I tend to do, because it just helps with the folding next, is bring this across. So these were the folds that we've just done, and just reinforce it while it's, you know, the full length of it. It just seems to help with the next stage of folding. So there we go. Open that up. Now what we're going to do is keep those in like that, and what you can do, now this isn't a strictly origami fold because you are using a bit of glue, but you can put a little bob of glue to keep these out of the way and stop them from keeping rising up if you want to. So that just keeps them sitting flat. Now what we want to do is to fold on this diagonal piece here. So there is that diagonal, so we're going to bring that across like that. And what happens when you bring it across there, this bit rises up. So this is one of our folds we did earlier. So this comes up, and you're going to line that crease up with that crease there. So just pinch it across, bring it across like that, and make a box shape. It'll naturally do it, so you've got a nice sharp corner there. So let me show you again. So there's our point. We've brought that piece in. This piece is a mounting fold, so it wants to sit proud. So just bring it across so that this mounting fold here meets this mounting fold here. So bring it across, line it up, and you might have to adjust it either which way, but make sure it's nice and sharp. When you're happy that it is, lay it down, bring your bone folder in and crease all along there like that. Okay, and you're starting to create this sort of box shape. So open it out. So we've just done this, so I'm going to do this side next. So again, fold it over, hold the top part down, and you've got this sort of mountainy fold here. So bring this across, and you can do it on your table like this if you want to. I tend to hold it in my hands in the air. Don't know why. It just sort of works for me. So once you're happy that this is straight here, so this is lined up with that, get your bone folder, get your fingers out the way, and go in and reinforce that fold like that. And then you've got this box shape going on like that. And the next thing to do is to do this end. Now I'm going to unfold that just so as I can show you easier, but you can keep it folded like that, or you can unfold it if that works for you. So we've done this end, we want to do this end now. So turn it all the way round, and again push down one side, doesn't matter which side, like that. You've got this fold here, which is one we did earlier, and if it helps you can reinforce that now. So you've got a fold here, which is a valley, and another valley one there. So it's that bottom one that we want to use. Let's get my pencil. So it's this one, whoops, this one here that we're going to use. So you can fold that over if it works for you. So bring that in like we did with the first one. This is the fold we're interested in, so we're going to bring it up. I'll do it on the table. Now bring it up and line it up Now that one is kind of going there, so I'm going to just push it across a little bit. When I'm happy about where it is, I'm going to bring my bone folder in and fold, reinforce that fold there. So I've now got another fold there, which wants to be a box. So I'm going to open that one up again, bring this one across. Again here, I've got that mounting fold that's sticking up. So I'm going to bring that across. So if it helps, I'll do it in a slightly different way. This is the way that sometimes works for me. So I've brought it across. There's my mounting that I want to line up with this fold here. And I just sort of pinch it together like that. And while I'm pinching it, I'm making sure that it lines up really well. Then I hold it like that and then use this hand to pinch inside. So I'm in there pinching that. Once I've got a good pinch on it, I then bring my bone folder in. So there's lots of different ways you can work it. Whichever works for you is going to be the best. So then what you should end up with is that. So we've got a little box at the bottom and then we've got these two pieces at the top. Okay, and again, because it's an origami fold, but you can use glue, and you will use glue with this a bit, so it's not truly an origami fold. But let me show you the next step, and I'm going to open, normally I wouldn't, but I'm going to open this just so as it makes it easier for you to see what I'm doing. So on one of your ends, fold that point out the way. Just fold it out the way, and if it helps, put a little bob of glue on there and bring it across so that it starts to stick down. So that triangle, I'm just folding it back because I want it out the way for the next stage. And what I want to do now is take this crease and line it up with this crease here in the box. So let's get my pencil. So there's the crease across there. So it's there. So I'm going to bring that crease, fold it, well, it's in half really, and lay it down so it just sort of butts up to that there. And once it has, and I'm happy it's all lined up, I'm going to bring my bone folder in like that. And then I'm going to fold it down out of the way so that we end up with it like that. And that's my triangular bit there. So that's folded out the way. And that makes the sort of this little bit here, the pocket bit there. And to finish it off, that triangle that we folded away, I'm going to get a little glue, and this is where you have to use glue. Put a little bit of glue on there and then fold it all the way over and tuck it inside there like that. So it's all nice and tidy inside, and this then folds like that. Let me show you again on the other end. So I've got my two pieces. I'm going to fold into each other. Again, I'm going to put a little bob of glue on there, just on that side, just to hold it all together nice and straight like that. Let's use my bone folder just to push that into the paper. So again, I'm going to fold that triangle out of the way. So we've got that crease there where I can see it. And I'm going to line it up with inside the box. So if you see inside the box, you've got this piece here. So I'm going to line it up with that piece. So I'll bring my pencil in so you can see again. So that's on that piece, but it's where this piece joins. So bring this over, we're folding it in half and butt it up to there, making sure that the edges, so that these edges line up like that. Get your bone folder again and reinforce that. Once you've got to there, fold it back out of the way and again reinforce that fold. Almost there, almost done. Again, we've got our triangle that we'd pushed out of the way so it didn't get in the way while we were doing that fold. So I've put a little bob of glue on. I'm going to fold it over inside to this box shape and glue it down like that. Okay, and you've now got that. So what I tend to do is put another little spots of glue, nothing too much, just a little spot like that, and pinch it over, and the same on the other side, just to hold it out of the way while we finish off. So probably put a little bit too much on there, but never mind. Flip it over and do that side. Right, and this is how we do the next part. So the next part, so this is how you form, whoops, how you form this bag shape if you want to. What you could do is have it like that if you wanted, but I like this sort of bag shape, this sort of shopper shape. I don't know why, it reminds me of something, I can't think what. So let's pop that out the way. So you've got your flaps on two of the sides, and then you've got two sides that are completely clear, and these are going to be your edges. What you want to do is to get your finger and about halfway down put it in the middle. Try and by eye the middle of that sort of square and pop your finger there. Push it out while at the same time using your thumb to push it down. And as you can see, what you start to get is a sort of almost like a bend of the paper going from there up to the corner, and the same on this side up to the corner. And if you start pinching it, ignore this end for now, start pinching it, you start to get that sort of shape. Then come in with your fingers and just pinch that down, and you end up with the shape that we're after. Flip it over and do exactly the same. Pop your fingers, whichever one you like, in the middle, by eye it in the middle there. And as you're pushing up with it, prefer my middle one actually, as you're pushing up with that finger, push down with this one, and immediately you start to get that sort of shape. So pinch it across up to that corner and here, and just manipulate the paper, and then once you start to bring it in, you start to get the shape of the bag like that. Okay, so that's how to get the bag bit. Now let's do the straps. So I've got a little bag and I've got two straps I've already done. I'll show you how I make them. So I'll bring in my trimmer, and I've got some cards. Now I'm using the blue on the card to make my straps. Right, what you're going to do is trim yourself off 1/4 inch. Now if I pop this in the trimmer, that's not quite at my 3, so if I'm going to cut 1/4 inch, that's going to be short. So instead of cutting this end, I'm going to pop it in, get it to a 1/4 inch mark, and that just so happens to be 2 3/4, and cut the other end. Turn it round, this is the bit I want, 2 3/4, take that down, and now I've got 2 1/2. So I know that that piece now is 1/4 inch, and I do that twice. And luckily enough, this board has got little grooves in it, but if you haven't got one of these, get yourself your scoreboard, and it doesn't matter which one, just choose yourself which one of the scoring grooves, pop it in, and I always eye it. I end up holding one end and the bottom, and then just popping, turn it that way, then just using my score tool, just doing that, and that gives me roughly about halfway. If you haven't got a score tool or a scoreboard like this or whatever, you can still do it by pinching it in half. That's how I did the first ones, and then I thought there's got to be a simpler way, and that's when I decided to try doing that. And all you're going to do is pinch it in half, but don't go to the ends. That's why I didn't score all the way to the end, because what we want is we want that flat. We want that end to be flat. So you're just going to pinch it halfway, get your glue, put some glue in there like that. I usually give it a minute or two, and then push it together. And I've got a really heavy, this is a really heavy punch, so I just pop it to one side, lay it flat, and then pop that on to hold it flat, and leave that for a good half an hour or so for it to completely dry. I'll move it out the way and finish that off in a minute. Once it's dry, you've got these little strips, so they're folded in half and glued down, and you've got two flat ends like that. Grab something small, and I always use my my glue bottle. Grab something small and wrap it round like that to give the handbag the handle shape, so it sort of rounds it for you. I have tried using my score tool to sort of, you know, pull it, and you know how you do like a ribbon, and try and get it to bend, and I've done that with card lots of times, but it's not working with these very well. So I thought bending it round something like my glue bottle would perhaps be better. Once you've done that and you've got a nice shape, bring in your tiny handbag, and don't try and do it all in one go, because it just won't work unless you're willing to peg it, and sometimes that doesn't work very well either. Put a tiny bob of glue on the flat end, and then line it up. So remember that, so you're looking to line it up on the edge. This is far too big. I would use a much bigger piece if I was using this. And you're going to line it up just on the corner of that flap on your tiny bag. So line it up and just hold it down until the glue has taken. But don't do this one. We want to wait for this to dry before we do this one, unless you've got something that can hold it there like that. And I have got pegs and all sorts, but I'm not entirely sure how well that's going to hold. I'm going to peg that one for now, and then I'm going to bring in my second one and do the other side. So I'm just popping some glue on there, spread it out a little bit, and I'm going to pop it on the other side. So I've got this one, that will go there, so this one goes on this side like that. Hold it for a minute while the glue grabs, and then I'm going to pop a peg on. But I have found, even with it being pegged, if I then try and bend these round and peg it in place, what happens is the bit that I've first glued does tend to sort of swivel a little bit, and it's not quite as good as I want it to be. So I'll leave those to dry, and then I'll come back in a minute and glue the other two. But once they're glued, you end up with cute little handbags like this. And the 6x6 are these, so these are about Ferrero Rocher size. This is an 8x8, which is much bigger. Actually, if I measure the bottom, the base for you, so the base is 2 inches by 2 inches, just under. So yeah, so that's quite a nice shape, a nice size if you wanted to, maybe a piece of jewellery or something. And if you had some nice little straps on there, like on here, that looks quite elegant. So that's just a piece of copy paper. I might do some actually in some nice patterned paper, but yeah, today I'm making teeny tinies. So I think they're really, really cute. So I'd love to see if you did some. Let me know. If you like them, please let me know in the comments box below. And if you don't already know my channel, I'd love it if you hit the subscribe button and joined me in my crafting adventures. Anyway, I'll speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye for now.